So my mistake. At minimum, if I implied that there was something going on with the custom gods, it was not. So I figure it would be good to promptly address this. If I swear this is not a reason for me to make another episode, as I get birthmark random item stats. But to explain further, the character that I was playing has a broken nose linked path, and I think it is the image is there. It's just that it was not. There's a missing .png. So as I always disclaimer, I do add basically any mods, custom content at base. If anything, I tell you what I change as we get into Aaron again. Curious birthmark random item stats. But yeah, when this character gets a broken nose, we'll see if the game crashes. Also, I did change the effects of that 2 episodes ago, but we just never failed. So. Second knowledge, strength, Tachi-san, and maybe dexterity. But yeah, just to explain once again, this is a result of the crash in the previous episode or previous video at the time of this episode was due to a broken graphic on the character and not the plugin / custom old god or neither one of those two. It was a broken graphic, and we're gonna find out if that's truly the case. I believe so, though. Because the easy test as we get Sailors, Botanist, Flood, Story, and Labyrinth is that you can essentially give the character any bonus you want, even without using perm. I'll mention it that way too. Without using the plugin, you can just give the custom character bonuses. And in this case, I did status broken nose. I mean, you could see it in the Ito file, but just to be absolutely certain, also I did not equip a weapon, so this is gonna be really bad. But yeah, if the graphic crashes the game immediately at game start, then you know that it's the graphic. Alternatively, I could have just looked at the Ito file, but again, I usually like just putting in something just to see how it works out of the box, so to say. Which I think is an important part of debugging anything, really, whether it's a game, a mod, so on and so forth. Just playing with something without making any edits is, I think, a good indicator of whether or not something... will last, if anything else. I'm losing the words at the moment because I'm trying to get through what I want to say while also focusing on not dying. But, yeah, just to mention, yes, it was one more time, it was a graphic error and not a custom old god, nor a plugin problem. So, yeah, and you can try it for yourself. You can basically, it could be any character really, but just try downloading a character and playing them out of the box. If one crashes, then usually it's either a linking error or there's a missing graphic. One of those two is usually where I see crashes, and I think by a long shot, it would be a matter of, links not linking correctly. Whether you forgot .png, whether you used to use like a placeholder and you say custom character folder into, say, slit mouth, low stamina, and you rename the folder into character XYZ. It could be any number of things that could go wrong, but once it works correctly, it'll just work correctly. Also, this is 17 HP at Mystery 1. That makes me so sad. Do we even get out of this now? If I throw the Ritual Dagger, yes. I don't want to, though. So we're going to go for a dodge, if I can. Wow, dodge is so bad. I guess we multiply wounded. This is 2 stamina, right? Okay, good. I get to sever my way out. So, without further ado, let us continue onward. But yeah, I guess I might as well make this a custom content video talking about custom content. But yeah, there's just a few things to check. Well, and I say a few. If you're trying to check every graphic, I highly recommend, and I've mentioned this before, and I didn't rest, by the way, so this is gonna be even worse for me. But yeah, I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. That you can basically just give your character the bonuses of status effects that you don't have, and if you get them, cool. If you don't, or if it doesn't crash the game, cool. If it does crash the game, it's usually a simple fix. Again, maybe you misspelled something, there's a typo. I've done the same myself several times among all the characters. I've dodged so many times, by the way. Are we actually... now that I've noticed this, I'm not going to hit a dodge, am I? But I guess we'll find out. So... but yeah, that's at least the status effects. Anything else is usually, small things that don't crash the game would be things like... I'm so flabbergasted because I'm dodging so many times, by the way. But, oh my goodness. Do I want to gamble on that? That's worse than dodge. Is that worse than dodge attack? Hold on, let me focus for a moment. 65, 34%, 33%, we'll say 33%. And if I go for Desperate Prep Desperate Attack. I know I put Prepare. I'm just saving time for myself. 65, 55. Okay, so this is better than Dodge. That's such a sad sentence to say. And even then, it's not guaranteed. Well, actually it is. But, yeah, this is better than Dodge. Yeah, it's better than Dodge. So, and we miss, so we lose. But we'll do another run. But yeah, I highly recommend if you're making a character and you're making graphics for them like broken nose, slit mouth, cursed signs, crestfallen mask, ritual mask, and Caracasa mask. Every single graphic, even if you don't think it'll be a very, even if people never get slit mouth, you want to make sure the game doesn't crash basically. So you got that. Oh no, not you got that. Just a regular errand run with the World of War backstory. But yeah, you want to make sure you go through every graphic, just give them 2 bonuses, and just repeat that over and over. It's really easy because you can just queue out, and then you can edit your Ito file, and then queue out in the same thing. Also, was I playing on Aaron, by the way? Well, I guess we'll play on Aaron now. This time, well, we got Charisma down again, but you get what I'm trying to say at this point. It is a matter of just going through each and every single, literally lines of code for the Ito file and making sure they work. Now, as we get Strength, Second Mystery, Charisma, Light, Tachi-sana, maybe a second encounter check, that's not always viable for longer, say, especially if you're using this plugin, like hundreds of lines of code, but that's why it's good to get the foundation set, like make sure your character works without any graphics at all, and then use all your graphics, or put in your graphics one by one. That's a bit longer. You can just put in all your graphics and then test each of your graphics one by one. What I was mentioning earlier is that you can edit the Ito file and then queue out, like if I were doing that right there. And then the game will update immediately, so you can test broken nose, slit mouth. Then you can test low stamina, low reason. Then you can test, crestfallen mask, Caracasa mask. You get the point. Akamanto, Vigil, Household Hell, Goal, Feet. Akamanto, definitely. Let me focus. Goal, and then Feet. Akamanto, funny enough. I think Akamanto is the easier of the two, and not just because of handcuff tech, but as we move on here, then yeah, if you are using the plugin, I don't think, maybe there's like a few people who've made things for the plugin at the moment. That's, has made something available publicly, but if you do something like that, again, you would probably want to go through just making sure your bonuses work, because there are a bunch of things that you can do as we lose 2 funds and gain 1 reason. That would probably need to be checked. Another example is you give yourself more bonus effects or status effects. You want to make sure those appear correctly and that the graphics that they would trigger do trigger. 4 dogs. Another example is if you're adding a custom item. Nice exposed ribs, by the way. If you're adding an adding an item that has a very specific effect, like it increases strength but decreases dexterity, you want to make sure that when you equip the item, the stats apply as they should, or if you just having it allows you to get stats. When you remove it, do the stats get reversed, so on and so forth. Again, I mentioned this in a recent video as of this recording, but let me just make sure I'm surviving this. I could throw dogs at this, but we'll just take our 2 all and get out. The game does not permanently increase or decrease. It actually just adds a stat or removes stats based on, the effects. So therefore, it makes sense that the plugin or perm would also do the, I guess, not opposite, but it would do something similar in that it would, if you use an item or equip an item, you would gain an effect. But in the case of items being equipped or unequipped or existing in your inventory and not existing in your inventory, then you're... Just focusing for a moment. Then your... Oh my goodness, pain. The stats would need to be increased and decreased, and vice versa if the item was no longer to be benefited from. Again, the example here is, hey, you get a strength increase when you use an item, or you get a strength increase when you get an item and it's in your inventory, but when it's removed from your inventory, that strength needs to decrease back down. That's the game. That's how the game treats it, by the way. Also, we got so many broken noses. I'm so sad. So we're going to send dogs, and we need to send it until it has 24 HP, so we can do... I don't have the handcuff. Here I talked about Akamanto being the easier of the two, and then I'm struggling for my life. That being said... No, I can't brace into anything. Never mind. Wow, we got 1... Let me put this into perspective. Your ally... When you send an ally at an enemy, there's a chance for it to do up to 6 damage. At this point, I just believe that lower damage is weighted higher, but meaning you're more likely to do lower amounts of damage than higher values of damage. Also, sadness. We can throw the arm sling. It's probably not going to do a lot of damage, but we don't have much of a choice. Time to use library notes and see what we can do. I think this doesn't apply immediately. No, it does not. But we gotta do what we can. Actually, we're gonna use the baseball as well. So, how accurate are we now? 70? We need more. Do we gamble? 64%? 64%. Go! I believe we also get bonus damage, but hey. Now let's actually rest properly because I'm in pain. Also, we lost Bath, so pain. We'll save the Crestfallen Mask for later. And now I can talk about custom characters again. So, yeah, just making sure everything works out. Again, the graphics are probably one of the most frequent crashes for me when I'm playing with custom characters. Otherwise, you know, it would be much nicer to run into smaller bugs like, hey, a character's 0 stats on Harbinger. I think I've run into that literally once because I think most people in tune with the World of Horror community, as we get our dogs back, hey, they came back. Yeah, most of the community is very, very good at. So did I roll 59 twice? By the way, this is a video. Well, actually, I rolled it 3 times, but boy, oh boy, RNG. Let's make sure we don't die, by the way, by doing this. Now, if we get 2 stacks of hunger, so be it. If we get flashbacks again, that'll be a video. But otherwise, yeah, the community's did a good job at warning people. What I was trying to say is warning people that, hey, don't give any of your custom characters 1 stat, because if someone wants to play on Harbinger difficulty, that character will immediately die. The Band-Aid fix is for whoever's playing with the character to just increase that stat by 1, but you get the point. 2 is the absolute higher. The downside of that, of course, is, hey, maybe someone wants to play with 1 stat on an easier difficulty, but also nice coughing blood. So I would have actually 0 statted here, by the way, but good things happen to those who do not wait. So we're just going to gamble on a, nope, we don't even get a 1-shot. So 82%, there's a bird cackling in the back. And let us prep strong our way out. So, without further ado, take stamina, funny enough. Actually, take dexterity. I'm too scared of 0 statting. And let's see if I get vindicated for that. So, yeah, my body. Let's find out. Let's find out. I'm just going to stick with this, even though no, actually I have the Restless bonus right now. So, yeah, I don't want to do anything else. But, we have a Ritual Mask too, but forgot to equip it. Again, when I'm multitasking, just a quick little aside here, I often am not able to focus on both tasks successfully. Also, I feel a bit slower. I think I am a bit slower, but action speed wise, coughing blood again. So I'm vindicated. Like I got 12 dogs and 2 coughing bloods and 1 flashbacks curse. But you get the point. I had a total of 6 dexterity loss. That's not normal. Do I gamble on this, by the way? I think I just throw dogs at Miss Alshita here. So, go! The power of dogs. Like, literally the power of dogs. How much damage am I going to do? How many 1s am I going to roll? That would be a weird bug if something along the... Yeah, like, this is not normal. Am I just really unlucky here? Or do dogs always do 1 damage when... sent at an enemy? Okay, well, either I'm very, 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 very unlucky. Out of curiosity, did any of my first 4 dogs do more than 1 damage? Let's put this into perspective. The odds of even just 8 dogs all doing 1 damage, assuming we're rolling from 1 to 6, is 5.95 to the power times 10 to the power of -7 repeating. So, or not repeating, but you get the point. It's not likely. I don't think I can even brace into anything properly. Well, I can get a guaranteed kick. That's probably going to be worth it. Because then I can desperate maybe into this. And yeah, we have bonus damage, but whether or not we'll hit both of these attacks is a different story. But unless we miss both of these attacks, we should be okay. Never mind. What I said that was going to happen what just happened, but... okay, fine. Go back to the dodge. We're not going to get to that lucky. The fact that I dodged like 5 times in a row was already lucky enough. So this is interesting RNG. But yeah, without further ado, again, I just wanted to correct the mistake I made. I was wrong. It was the character and not it was neither the perm mod plugin, whatever you want to call it, or the custom old god. So yeah, without further ado, nothing much else to say. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.